So the following video is a message from the Liberty of Russia Legion. This is a group that is Russian soldiers that are fighting on the side of Ukraine against the Kremlin's authoritarian policies.
Честь имею. Дорогие сограждане, когда из Белгорода на некогда дружественный Харьков летели кабы, Москва ликовала. Когда приграничные регионы обстреливали в ответ на путинскую политику, Москва молчала. Когда вас забирали мясом на фронт вдали от дома и грузили в автозаки, Москва смеялась. Мы приходим не для того, чтобы убить, стереть, уничтожить или наказать. Мы идем, чтобы освободить вас от нищеты, бедности и страха, освободить от диктатуры террористической организации, захватившей власть, дать вашим детям нормальное, цивилизованное будущее, без санкций и без репрессий, без выборов, без выбора и без разговоров о важном, но с важными ценностями. И самое главное, без войны. Путин узурпировал власть на 20 лет, и что произошло? Санкции, экономический застой, кровопролитная война, забравшая жизни и здоровье более чем 400 тысяч российских мужчин, убитые политические конкуренты и полная изоляция с мировой арены. А еще красивые дворцы в Геленджике и Новоогарево. А теперь он планирует идти на еще один срок и править до самой своей смерти. Мы не позволим. Мы такие же россияне, как и вы. Мы тоже имеем право на волеизъявление. И наша воля не признавать кровавого диктатора президентом России. Мы сделаем все, чтобы он успел из Новоогарева переехать в Полярный Волк. Мы знаем, как там относятся к местным жителям. Легион идет на выборы. Ждите нас. Честь имею.
So after that video was posted, the Liberty of Russia Legion conducted multiple incursions into Russia from Ukraine. Simultaneously, Ukrainian-operated drones targeted numerous locations in Russia, sparking significant blazes at two key oil sites. The areas that we're talking about specifically are Belgorod, which is right here, as well as Kursk. That is where the attacks from the Liberty of Russia Legion took place. The drone strikes took place at multiple other areas as well. Now, starting with the Legion, the Liberty of Russia Legion, it's composed of Russian soldiers. These are actually Russians that are fighting on the side of Ukraine against the Kremlin. Now, the Russian Defense Ministry disclosed that its territory experienced drone assaults and border attacks in 9 separate regions, with some Ukrainian projectiles being intercepted above Belgorod. So even though this is generally considered an independent group, this Liberty of Russia Legion, they are working with Ukraine for coordinated attacks, and they conducted several as they pushed from the Ukrainian border towards Belgorod, and then also moved up the road towards Kursk in 2 directions here from Ukraine. Now, the drone strikes were aimed at various power facilities, and the drones did get through at the North Sea refinery in Nizhny Novgorod, which is actually well north of this area, closer to Moscow. So we can kind of see where it's at up here. You move upwards, it sits right here. Nizhny Novgorod, Moscow's right here. I'll zoom you out a little bit more so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here relative to the front line. So again, Nizhny Novgorod, Moscow, and then the front line is down here. So drones were flown and hit facilities that are about 775 kilometers away from the front line. These are oil facilities managed by Lukoil, which is a mammoth Russian energy company. Additionally, drone assaults impacted oil storage facilities in Oriol, which is about 116 kilometers from the Ukrainian border, and that's about here. So you can see the distances here that Ukraine is striking oil facilities and energy facilities in Russia. This makes it so nothing is really safe in Russia. Previously, we've seen them hit facilities as far north as St. Petersburg region, as well as zooming out further, even up along the northern coast of Russia in this area here. Now, additionally, other areas that were struck include Bryansk, which is right here, Tula, which is right here, Voronezh, which is right here, and Moscow itself up here. So just combining all of these, you have Kursk, Belgorod, Voronezh, Nizhny Novgorod. This was a significant simultaneous strike across all of Russia. At the same time, we saw the Liberty of Russia Legion moving on Kursk and Belgorod in this area right here. Now, the Kremlin reported that the Russian military successfully thwarted these infiltrations and inflicted significant casualties on the assailants, but these statements remain unverified, and there is actually video from just a few hours ago of Russia evacuating various areas of Belgorod, as well as news reports that continue to show fighting taking place in Kursk and Belgorod. Now, the assaults, according to Russia's defense ministry, were executed at around 3 a.m. Moscow time. Russian forces countered with missiles, artillery, and air assets, but were slow to get troops in the area, and they're even struggling to figure out what exactly was going on in the initial hours as so many attacks were taking place simultaneously. Now, this assault was meant to show weakness in Putin's ability to defend the Russian territory just days before the upcoming election, which is supposed to take place on the 15th. Russians are beginning to wake up to the fact that the war can be brought to them, and this time from within Russia, as these ground forces are of Russian origin, and some of these drones likely originated from within Russian territory. But let's be honest, if we're using the logic of Russia and those that support Putin's war, Russia really should just hand over Belgorod and Kursk. There's really no point in people dying over a war.